Hey ladies and gents, this is Izduiz coming at you with another look at some Mexicans and half Mexicans who have been immortalized in plastic as part of our celebration of National Hispanic Heritage Month. And this is Miguel with me. My voice is a little crackly and messed up because I've been yelling with joy because Miguel has been getting such good grades. Right, Miguel? Is that right, Miguel? I've just been yelling with joy. Miguel's chewing on a granola bar, so he has no comment at this time. All right. First of all, I'm going to tell you about some of these guys. This is a bobblehead of a Hall of Famer. His name is Ted Williams, and he played for the Boston Red Sox. Okay, and he was half Mexican, like you. And the most, there's a couple of very interesting things about him. He made it to the Hall of Fame, but I think what he's best known for is that he was the last Major League Baseball player to hit over 400 in a season. And that was 75 years ago. And if you can imagine how many baseball players there have been since then, nobody's duplicated that feat. So he also had a pretty amazing life in that he was a Marine pilot, and he was in World War II, and he also went to Korean War. And there's actually a G.I. Joe action figure, which I don't have, which is Ted Williams in his Korean War flight suit with a baseball bat. But I do have this bobblehead of Ted Williams, and I do have this McFarlane collectible. So that commemorates his great career, all his batting titles, and he did rather well. His mom was Mexican. Not a lot of people know that because his name is Williams. Okay. After that, I think the second most famous Mexican baseball player would have to be Fernando Valenzuela. He's actually from Mexico, and he was a pitcher for the LA Dodgers. And he was so good when he was here that he started something called Fernando Mania, where everybody was going crazy because they wanted to go see him pitch. He was winning all these games. This is a starting lineup figure, and it shows him as kind of thin because he was a chubby guy with chubby cheeks. So that doesn't really show. He never was that svelte. He's just a regular looking Joe Schmo with kind of a bit of a gut, but an excellent pitcher nonetheless, and a great pitcher for the Dodgers. I would say he would probably be the second most famous Mexican baseball player that's been immortalized in plastic in my collection. So that is Fernando Valenzuela. One of the reasons that he was so popular was because outside of Mexico City, there are more Mexicans in LA than there are in any other city in the world. So obviously he was a very popular part of that.
He's got a very pained expression.
He's got a pained expression on his face? It's because he's injuring himself because he's got this weird delivery. As you can see, look at how his arm almost looks like it's made out of rubber there. So he had sort of a weird, interesting delivery, but he struck a lot of people out, and that's why everybody at the time was a Fernando maniac. Yeah. I think that the face looks somewhat, I mean, he's kind of like a chubby Babe Ruth type guy, but he was never that thin. So that's Fernando. Then another guy, I've got two of him, is Nomar Garcia-Parra, who played also for the Boston Red Sox. And this is a little starting lineup figure of him fielding. He started off his career with a bang. He was Rookie of the Year. And then he was a six-time All-Star, which is a big honor. and I think he won the Silver Slugger Award. I think he won 2 batting titles, and was pretty famous. And just goes to show that you can be really good. He's Mexican American, and maybe a little bit of steroids might have helped. I'm not sure. But he was a very good player, and hey, if it was the steroids, then that's too bad. Okay, so last and probably least in the collection is
Less and probably least.
is Eric Chavez. I'm going in order of reverse importance. Eric Chavez, who played for the Oakland A's.
He doesn't seem very
Number 3, he's
very good at staying in the same position without sliding around.
he also won the Silver Slugger Award, and I think he was an All-Star. He wasn't quite as good as Nomar, but he was still pretty good. So anyway, do you have any questions about any of these folks?
Don't worry, it's only a flesh wound. He's got some terrible metal.
Yeah, that's why Eric Chavez wasn't better at his job, because he played his entire career with a metal pole sticking out of the side of his thigh. So he had to endure quite a bit of pain.
Oh, and this guy, he's got
No, that's not true.
He's got something in his foot. It's pretty bad. They tend to get lots of injuries involving metal poles inside of their body.
He actually did. Nomar did suffer from lots of injuries. I don't think it had anything to do with a metal pole in his arch, but all right. So there you go. There you have it. Ted Williams, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Fernando Valenzuela, and Eric Chavez.